Hello, Namaste, Sasrikal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S.Chandhok. Today, we have gathered here to speak about a very important topic, that is artificial intelligence in mathematics. We have very special guests on the panel here. The first eminent guest which we have is Dr. Bhavna Chibber ma'am. She is a principal of Rebnan Public School, Gurugram. She believes in growing by learning. Each and every moment of her journey as educator and a skill trainer is precious like a gem. This year marks her 25th year in the education sector. She has crossed many worth mentioning milestones during this journey. She is a long-term educator and a school leader, curriculum designer, subject matter expert, and content writer, eloquent speaker, trainer, mentor, Google certified educator, Microsoft certified educator, and cybersecurity expert. She's an author, a resource person with CBSE, NCERT, and Oxford University Press. She's a recipient of many awards on the national and international level, and also she's associated with so many associations on the national and international level. We welcome you, Dr. Bhavana Chipper, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming. Ma'am, please let us know about your educational journey and as an expert.
Thank you so much. आप सभी को मेरा प्रणाम. I believe this. You have. I'm obliged first of all that you have given a very short and crisp introduction of mine. I will not say much. I just say that I'm an agile lifelong learner which has the passion to work toward her dream. And right now, I'm curious to be graduated as a learned and senior educator of our country in the years to come. And I try to take any challenge as an opportunity to be stronger and stronger. So thank you so much, Chandok sir, for calling me here. And it's a big platform, and the subject is AI. I'm a computer science teacher, so I know what is the importance of it and how it will say take over each and every field in coming years. And mathematics, so I believe so. I'll just say something in Hindi. I believe you all will be able to understand. अगर आप समझने को तैयार हो जाएं, तो आपको गणित से प्यार हो जाए. So I believe mathematics is like a subject which is when you think that I'm able to understand, this is where we need to work on. So we'll discuss in further.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much, and welcome, ma'am.
Yeah.
Next, we have Pratima Sinha, ma'am. She is the principal and principal of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Vidya Ashram, Jaipur. Ma'am is in, I think, this school from last 20 years, as she told, and she has a long experience, which ma'am will herself tell. Ma'am, please, over to you. Please tell about your educational journey. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you, Saraprit sir, and namaskar to all the fellow educationists. Well, the beauty and the curse of online has been this, that sometimes you are unknowingly muted, sometimes you are knowingly muted, and so on. So, well, I am presently at Bharati Vidya Bhavan's Vidya Ashram Munchimar, which is the flagship school of this BVB movement across the country. In Jaipur, it is the flagship school. I've been in education for last 30 years, and I started as a lecturer in a degree college, but as destiny would have had it, ended up being in the school where my son was destined to take his first steps, that is Dayavati Modi Academy, Meerut. I was PGT Economics there, was there for pretty long. Then schooling happened to me, became principal of leading schools across the country, including the Jaipuria group. And Chibber ma'am, I am the founder principal for Pathfinders Gurgaon. Thereafter, I have taken over for the last 5 years, Chandok sir, BVB Vidyashram Munchimar. More than what I am as a teacher or as a master trainer of CBSE or as vice president of Jaipur Sahodaya or city coordinator in Jaipur on more than one occasions. I am a teacher by heart, and I believe the best thing that I've earned is the love of my students from across the country, from Dayavati Modi Academy to Chaudhry Chabil Das Public School. I was education officer for Jain Public School for a while, and so on. And when children say that I have been able to make a difference in their lives, that is something that really makes me feel elated. And if on and on you would go on asking about my introduction, all the awards of being the best principal in implementation of CC by CBSE or whatever are inconsequential, but the love of my children is something that has really made me take pride in the fact that in spite of having cleared civil services, I took the task of being a teacher.
Amazing, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Deepthi Chaturvedi, ma'am. So please join. We have Deepthi Chaturvedi, ma'am. She's the principal of Nurture International School, Bangalore. She has extensive skills in reading, analyzing, research, critical thinking, and writing, giving the opportunity optimum tools to make further advance in the field. Strong oral communicator and lecturer in the classroom and effective written communicator to students and other staff members. Excellent coaching, teaching, and motivational skills when working with individual students and encouraging them to work to their potential. Friendly and personable, making interaction with the students and colleagues pleasant even when discussing ways students should improve. Solid ability to stay organized and on top of improvement deadlines where teaching a full load of classes. Using friendly approach in mathematics to have in-depth understanding and reasoning. Ma'am has done BSc from science, BSc, MSc, MA in political science, RPSC, that is Rajasthan Public Service Commission, BH, MH, and PhD in political science, with research topic being effect of regional parties in developing of Rajya Sabha in context of Indian federal system. Ma'am is also associated with so many associations on the national and international level, as well as received award on the national and international level. Welcome, ma'am. And ma'am, basically, you told me earlier also you are basically from Kanpur, my own city, and it feels good to see someone from Kanpur in a city like Bangalore. Welcome, ma'am, and please let us also know about your journey as an educator.
Thank you so much for such a humble introduction, but it embarrasses sometimes, not needed too long description. I am just a teacher by passion, not by profession is one line I feel like sufficient for my introduction. Everything happened in due course just because I followed my passion, nothing else. I have been mentoring students till class 12th for mathematics till 2019. And I shifted from maths to political science in the year of 2004. And then it became a parallel stream for me. So pol science and mathematics is something, of course, mathematics is the subject close to my heart as my teaching subject. And pol science is something that I followed as a passion. My mother was a pol science professor, and it flowed like that only. As a teacher, I only believe one thing. If that one thing we can follow, rest of the things automatically fall in place, is to build connect with the students. And that is why today's topic I feel very relevant for myself also, because for making that connect, at time we need strategies, at time we need tools. And AI could be something that can help us out to create those strategies and tools which we need actually for building that connect. If we build that connect with our students and with our staff when we are at leadership position, then rest of the things automatically comes into place, what we want them to actually come up with in terms of their outcomes. And rest is like, yes, being a research oriented person, I always try to critically analyze the things, the data which is available to me, be it the staff performance data, be it our students performance data. It is my habit in terms of just doing a critical analysis, picking out the problem areas and bridging the gap. It is something which I always try to do in any of the system where I work in. Because
Amazing.
I feel, and of course, to give solutions to any problem, any question which is coming in front of me, be it from student side or be it from teacher side. This is something I feel that I would like to come forward as a person. That is all about me as of now.
Amazing. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Trilok Singh Bish, sir. He is the principal of DPSG Vasundhara. Presently, he is working as a principal in Vasundhara, Ghaziabad. He is a passionate about education and has a rich experience of 32 years as an educator. His areas of specialization is economics and mathematics. During his long career, he had the privilege of working with several prestigious institutions. His earlier stint was in Jodhamal Public School, Jammu, where he had been a principal for 8 years. He is a proud recipient of National Teachers Award 2016-17. He is also a master trainer under CBSE. He has been awarded the Fortune 50 Principal Leadership Award 2018 and 2019 for his outstanding work as an educationist. He has also been awarded Outstanding Service to Society Award by International Award for Young People IAYP for his contribution in the field of education. These are only the sum of the two or three of the awards he's received. It's a big, it's a big list of the awards sir has received on the national and international level. Sir is so much associated with so many associations. Sir, we can identify from Jodhamal, Jammu to working over here in Delhi, and he has worked in so many places. We would like to know from him. Thank you, sir, and welcome to Lok, sir. Please let us know about your educational journey. As an educationist, you have worked in so many good places and you are so talented. Please let us know about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chandhok. It's a privilege to be in your show today once again. And it's always a privilege to listen to you as such. So my journey had been very simple, that I have been from a very small rural place in Lakhia, in Pithoragarh. I was born and brought up in Agar in Pithoragarh. So from there, I came to Dehradun when I was a 4 years old child. Then I got admission in Kendriya Vidyalaya FRI in Dehradun, and my 12 years journey was from the same school only. And then I went for my graduation with physics, maths, and geology from DBS College Dehradun, then masters in economics, then B.Ed from Annamalai University. Then I had my first stint of my job in Doon International School in Lakhimpur Kheri in Palyam. And that was a very remote kind of a place, and education was not there at all. But the owners of the school, Mr. Jagat Chaudhary, he picked up that place just thinking that this place needs a little revamping. So they started the first English medium school over there. We were the first one, and then after that we had 5-6 schools which came up, and all the schools are doing one better than the other as on today. Then from there I went to Dehradun and Scholars Home Dehradun. For 17 years I was there. Then I went on from there again back to Doon International School as a principal. Then in 2010, I went to Unison World School as a dean of international curriculum. Then I went to Jodhamal, as you have already talked about. After 17 years there, I switched on to DPSG Vasundhara. And DPSG Vasundhara is my karmasthali as on today. And I'm really working very hard to bring the children, give the children a little futuristic education, which is going to be the future of education. Actually, I really don't want my children to be rote learners. I want my children to be the ones who can understand the things and apply things and can have skills and competencies to be developed in the children for a better tomorrow. Since we are all living in a VUCA world that is a highly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, so we need to prepare our children to face the world the way it comes in the times to come. So I'm really working as one of the principals, because I know every principal is working on it. So I'm one amongst those who are preparing the future of our generation. With this, thank you so much. This has been my simple journey.
Amazing,
Get very fruitful and amazing. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir. Welcome, sir. And you are a very dynamic leader. Everybody knows about you who is connected to you or through social media, how you're looking after your schools. And you've been a principal of Jodhamal for 8 years, and it's a very big and a very old school in Jammu, very reputed school, as well as GPSG also has a very good reputation all over India. Thank you, sir, and welcome, sir, for coming. I think you are coming from the office and from the school.
I just came.
Everybody,
I was on the way.
right,
I thought
right.
it's 5:30. So I was waiting for 5:30, but I think I missed the time.
Right, sir. No issue, sir. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir. Then we have Nirmal Shah, sir. He is the co-founder of Counting Well. He's co-founder of Counting Well, a maths learning app for middle scholars. The goal is to make maths learning easy, anxiety-free, and participative for children across the country. Their focus is to help the so-called average student become more confident with maths and develop great problem-solving skills. They have stepped up where schools teachers are not able to provide personalized attention due to lack of time and bandwidth. Before reading more, I'll let you know that as we have the shape of the show that we call an expert, I came to know about Sir Nirmal sir that they have an app something like Counting Well. We have attended one show together. So I came to know that there basically the children have problem of mathematics in the middle school. I think everybody will agree. When they come up in sixth, seventh, and eighth in the middle school, they have a lot of problem with mathematics. That mathematics becomes very difficult for them. How can we make this subject more, interesting and easy for the students? For this purpose, we have called Nirbal sir. He will guide us that how it can be made helpful and how this artificial intelligence working in mathematics app, how does it works and how it makes maths interesting with the kids. Is also a designing career and life lesson courses for the 10 to 14 age group built around mathematics. Kids must know that maths matters and it will matter throughout their life. The best way to do is to show them how. He has over 2 decades of experience in various roles, including executive position in education, B2B, marketplaces, IT consulting, and coachings and mentoring services. He has handled roles in service delivery, product management and development, educational content, and curriculum development. Prior to starting Counting Well, he was a part of the founding team of Tescra, TESCRA, a US headquartered IT consulting firm. He was its managing director for Indian operations and senior vice president of global delivery and delivering services to Fortune 500 companies globally. At Tesca, he also co-founded another entity, ACHNET, a marketplace for delivering coachings and mentoring services globally. Before Tresca, he was the CTO of Trade to Gain, one of the India's biggest first B2B marketplaces, and associate vice president at Advanced Technology Labs, which delivered trained programs in computing across India. At Advanced Technology Labs, he gained considerable experience in curriculum and content development and co-developed training program with Carnegie Mellon University. We welcome you, Nilmal sir. Nilmal sir, you have so much experience in the market with different companies and different portfolios. How did it came to in your mind to start up this app as Counting Well, that I should go up with only mathematics, not any other subject, and basically with these classes, the middle school classes?
First of all, sir, thank you very much for inviting me to this show. It's a very different experience having interacted with so many people from the education background. The kind of inspiration that comes talking to all of the eminent people here, I think that is unmatched. So thank you again. I really appreciate you bringing me onto this platform. As far as why mathematics is concerned, I come from a background where, from an information technology background. And throughout my career, at least in the last 12, 13 years, I have been hiring a lot of people from IITs across the country. We've been doing a lot of campus hiring. And everywhere I went, there are two things that I realized. One, everybody knows that when it comes to computing, mathematics is an integral part of it. It's very important to it. But the second thing that I realized is that people, even at the IIT level, the people usually see maths as something about, number operations or learning formulas or learning a specific way of solving a problem, rather than looking at it as if it's a life skill. And I think it's very, very important that everybody looks at mathematics as a life skill. The whole number sense, the ability to deal with numbers and the ability to apply critical thinking in dealing with numbers is very, very important, irrespective of whether it is computing or whatever else you do in your life. So that's why my co-founder and I felt that mathematics is a very, very important subject. All Indian parents want their children to be smart with maths, but they all want them to score very well. Right now, there is a big difference between scoring marks and actually learning maths. And we wanted to be the people who bring that learning to children and to make them feel closer to the subject, to make them develop an affinity for the subject, rather than simply saying that if I score marks, I'm happy. So that was the idea, and that was the purpose behind starting Counting.
How does this counting well working, sir? I mean, how does it help the students? And if it is helping the students, is it removing the teachers, or they're helping the teachers also?
No, we cannot remove the teachers. I don't think that we can ever remove a teacher from a student's life or from throughout our life, right? Even today, I need a teacher in my life in some way or the other. So there is no tool, I believe, that can replace a teacher. What we are doing is that one, we have created an after-school learning program, which basically helps the child catch up in areas where they might have missed, or they might not have had the opportunity to ask their teachers or tell their teachers that they are not doing very well. Now, one of the things which we have realized, and I'm sure all of you have seen in children as well, is that other than the top performing students in the class, which is about 10% or so, the other students tend not to ask doubts, especially when it comes to maths. They are very quiet. They behave as if they have understood. Sometimes they might just remember some formula or something, but even if they have not understood, they would not come up and say that we have not understood something. They feel that they might be ridiculed, or somebody might mock them. Their own friends might say that tujhe to kuch nahi aata hai, that kind of thing. So they don't want to say that. But the reality is that when they don't understand something, and maths is a subject which is so connected, what you learned in 6th grade would go into 7th and 8th and so on, you build up on that. When they stop learning something in the earlier grades, it will start affecting them in their future classes. So we have to make sure that we give them the right kind of learning, and also give them the right platform where they can freely say that I've not learned something. If I made a mistake, let me correct it. So what we are able to do with an app like Counting Well is create an environment for them where they are learning on their own. It is a self-learning app. So whatever they have learned in the classroom, they can go and reinforce for themselves. If they make a mistake, nobody else is watching, but we are there to correct the mistake. So it creates a kind of safe environment for them. At the same time, what we have done is that we have created an alternate platform for the teachers, where they will see what the children are doing on the app. So they will get to know where the children's learning gaps are, right? So formative assessments have been extremely important in teaching, and we all know about it. We keep talking about it, but it's not very easy to implement, because if you have a classroom of 30, 40, 50 children, and if you want to check every day what is their learning gap, or today what they did not learn, how are you going to do that? It's not very practical. So what we can do through the app is that when the child goes home and tries to catch up on today's lesson, and we see that they have made a mistake, or they have not learned something very well, and there is a gap, one, we become the first step of remedial for them. But at the same time, we are able to create that report and that amount of data for the teacher, where the teacher can go and see where the child's learning gaps are. Like Dr. Dipti was saying, that data is very, very important, right? So how are we able to create that data? Is teacher going to be able to sit in the classroom, and is the teacher going to be able to capture data for every child? It's very impractical to do that. But if we have an app of this kind, where we are able to give that data to the teacher every day, then that becomes a great tool for the teacher as well. So the child does not really know that the teacher is watching, but the teacher is actually watching, and we have presented that data to the teacher. So that's what we're doing.
Right, sir. Right, sir. And sir, you also told me that this is right now free of cost to the schools and the students.
Yeah. So what we realized also is that of course, we are in the business to make profits. So I will not deny that. But at the same time, we also realized that especially this year has been a big blow on the school, on the teachers, on the students, all of it, right? One is the whole amount of effort that has gone into getting everybody back to school, but also it has had economic impact. So what we decided was that any school which signs up in this year, 22-23, we will just make it free for them. We will not charge them anything, so that it does not affect the children as well, right? Ultimately, the fees get passed on to children, and we don't want that to happen. So,
Right.
We will do things where there will be paid courses and so on and so forth in the app, but there will be certain elements which we will keep it free, so that that learning continues and it does not add burden to children.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir, and welcome, sir. We'll talk about the app, more about the app in the later part of the show. Thank you. We'll come up to the next part of the show. Won't say it a questioning show; it will be a comment show. We'll come up to Tirlok, sir. Tirlok, sir, basically we have seen, because this was a topic which came into our mind, that mathematics is a big problem with the students. They take it so heavily. I mean, although this is the easiest subject, but children, they take it so heavy that mathematics, oh, I won't be able to do. Especially, sir, when they come from the grade 6 to 12, 11, 12 students say, we are able to do accountancy, we are able to do economics, but we are not able to do mathematics. We're not getting. So, sir, there's a saying that mathematics is not about numbers, it is about understanding. So it is not a learning subject, it's an understanding subject. What are your views on this, sir?
Very good question, Dr. Chandok. I think this is a question which every maths teacher needs to ponder on. Actually, it is the mathematics is all about understanding. The concept building, understanding the concepts very clearly is more important. Whereas I find the problem actually lies with the approach of the teachers, not the students. Students are wonderful. They are very good. That's why when they're in pre-nursery to fifth, they keep getting 100 and 100 in mathematics because that fear of mathematics is not developed at that time. As they come to class 6 onwards, the teachers and parents also build up a lot of pressure on the children. They say maths mein zarur karna hai. Maths this, maths that. Maths has been made hawa out of it. So the problem lies with the approach of the teachers. They try to focus more on the formula used in the calculation. And if a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, just application, we are telling them you have to use this formula and just go about it. We don't give them the chance to go by some other methodology. We don't allow, at times the teachers are also so rigid. If I said a square plus 2ab plus b square hai, so that has to be the same. If it is a square plus b square plus 2ab, they cross it. Many of the teachers I've seen. So that is like mugging up mathematics. Till the time we are going to mug up mathematics, we will not develop the understanding at all. So therefore, what I think is the teacher needs to create essential questions to trigger the interest of the children. If the children have to be, their interest has been triggered, we need to develop some essential question, some question
Sir, you're on mute, sir.
find
Yeah.
a better answer to the things. Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There
You're
was a
audible,
call
sir.
in between mobile actually.
No problem.
By the time I opened my laptop, it was already late.
No problem, sir.
So, I was saying that, we need to have the essential questions should be prepared by the teachers. Teachers will need a little extra effort to create these questions where the children can also be involved. Their interest can be developed, and we should not focus too much on the calculations actually. Gone are the days when the calculators were not there or we didn't have gadgets where we can calculate. Let the children understand the concept. Calculation part they can take care of on their own. What I believe is maths teaching pattern has to change. The pattern has to change. The focus has to be more on student centric. What the children wants to learn. Let's involve the children, give them a little voice and choice. Let them also take the ownership of their learning. It's not that we have to teach them plus, minus, subtraction, multiplication, and all. Besides that, how do we involve it with the day-to-day activities? If you're teaching them fraction, tell them, give me 5 examples of fractions in your day-to-day life. Starting from pizza and so many other things are there. Let the children think on. If you're talking about the sets theory, why a sofa set is a set? Why do we call it a set? So set can start from the day-to-day examples. Practical learning and practical understanding is going to be more important in mathematics. So I think we need to focus more on what the child wants to learn, and we need to link our teaching with day-to-day life. If we
Obviously,
are
sir.
teaching our children to learn through the day-to-day life examples, they will this will remain with them for the lifetime. But if I'm teaching them calculus, integration, differentiation, he doesn't know where to use. He's just using because teacher said d upon dx x square is equal to 2x. But that is a mugging up. That really has to move out of our system, and we need to create mathematics as an understanding subject.
Sir,
I
what
think
you want? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you want to say is that, like, I will take an example that a green crosser came in front of our house or lane, and the mother or the said that you give me this 100 grams, this 250 grams, this half kg, And that illiterate person, within a second, within a minute, he'll calculate what is the total amount he has to pay. At the very same time, when the child is studying inside the class, he is putting up the formulas everywhere. Where he is lacking, because as you are saying, sir, that without example, practical examples, everything. I think you are also an economics economics teacher also, sir. When you are not taking in economics or accounts or any subject, if you are not taking the things in the practical approach, you won't be able to teach the child. And again, you said very right thing, that they make a hawa. When we come to class 6, they make it hawa. Maths is a big thing. So many chapters have to come. You don't know anything. It will be very difficult for you. It will be very difficult for you. When it is said that it's difficult for you, it becomes difficult for him. At the very same time, the role of the teacher has to be very important. How this concept can be removed, that is why we have also called Nirmal sir to let us know how it is helping the teachers also, that how can they change themselves, and how can, the mathematics can be made more interesting to the students. Thank you, Trilok sir. We'll come up to Bhavna ma'am, Dr. Bhavna Chibba ma'am. Ma'am, it is often seen that mathematics is regarded as the most difficult subject, especially during the middle school. That is, we were talking about 6th, 7th, 8th. How can this misconception can be removed according to you?
Thank you, Saraprit.
I'm sorry. I think I was muted. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, I was muted. Thank you for asking me such an important question, because this is where I am working strongly. See, in middle age group, they are really graduating from 5th to their teenage. You need to just think on about the age group which is under this category. That is a teenage group wherein they have a lot of distractions. And mathematics is the subject where you need concentration. So to learn math, as Trilok sir has said very clearly, categorically, and he has given very nice examples also. So I'm going to repeat the same thing, that to learn mathematics, one has to build on what has been learned before. There's a seeding of things. If you ask me, class 6 integer, if that concept has been not been built in the student in class 6, then 7, then 8, and then in 10th. Now the problem comes when the child is in class 10, because the child has not been able to understand the concept of integers. In class 6, the child is not going to perform well in class 10. So there is a proper method, there is a proper approach to be followed. So basically the mathematics class moves on even if a child has not mastered a preceding concept. This is the irony of the system. We pass him because he has passed, but we are not talking about the knowledge what he has. What is he able to understand? Is he able to apply it in real life? So this is what we need to talk about. The remedy is to make sure of mastery of learning of all the previous stages. Then only the mathematics fear, jo bhi sir ne kaha huwa, the moment they will overcome their fear, they will build their confidence. Now, how we can remove this misconcept? For me, to remove this misconcept, your teachers need to follow three basic things. It is all about your plan. It is all about your logical reasoning. It is all about the test of understanding. Say, for example, if I have to teach simple interest, very simple topic, simple interest I have to check. So how I can relate it? See, if I give an example here, कि सरप्रीत सर आपका अपना घर है या आप किराए पे रहते हैं?
अपना घर है मैम.
और आपने कोई किराएदार रखा हुआ है?
Yes मैम.
Very good. तो आपने अपने किराएदार रखा हुआ and they are paying rent to you because
Yes,
they are using your property और वो आपको रेंट दे रहे हैं. हाँ जी. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि जब आपकी कोई चीज यूज करता है तो वो आपको कुछ ना कुछ उसके एवज में देता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हम बच्चों को ये चीज समझा दें, रेंट बहुत अच्छी चीज है, या हम कहते हैं कि आपने मेरा पेन थोड़ी देर के लिए यूज किया, बोरो किया, इतनी इंक यूज हो गई, नेक्स्ट टाइम इतने इंक के लिए आई विल ऑल्सो बोरो योर पेन. So we can equate rent with the simple interest and then formula. तो बच्चों के दिमाग में वो चीज आ जाएगी. दैट इज अ रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल. दैट मींस बच्चों को जब रीजनिंग आ जाएगी और उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग टेस्ट हो जाएगी कि हमें इंटरेस्ट क्यों मिलता है, then the foremost thing is the last is the problem solving techniques. This is what we require. We require to give them that questions already. I believe CBSE has taken steps to do so. So all problem solving techniques will help to remove this misconcept. And now, just now, there was a lot of debate yesterday regarding the university's common entrance test. What is the now the number game is over. So all is about your knowledge. So now the child has to work on, and during the middle classes, this is the teenage, they just struggle hard with so many changes in their biological behavioral issues. So they find little bit, because there are so many distractions and this is one more, so they try to just take it an easy way out for learning. So I hope I have
Yes,
answered.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. A very beautiful answer through you, ma'am. We'll come up to Pratima Sharma, ma'am. Ma'am, according to you, how can this fear of mathematics be removed, especially with the middle class students?
So we all agree that there is this fear of mathematics, and hence this question. Well, yes, indeed, most of us as educationists have felt that there is this maths ka hua, but unfortunately, the reason behind maths ka hua, as Bish sir has explained, as Chibar ma'am has already explained, is the approach towards the subject. For example, we do not try to clarify the concepts, rather than, see, unlike other subjects where learning can help, maths has to be understood. I remember when I was a child, हमें पहाड़े रटवाए जाते थे, 2 दूनी 4, 3 एकम 3. But over the years, we have understood as educationists that multiplication is repeated addition. And if we have been able to clarify what is multiplication, then there's no need of cramming, tables. Now there's a lot of hue and cry about experiential learning, discovery learning, art integrated, and so on. So in order to facilitate the child, we must make our lesson plans meaningful, lesson plans by which the child can correlate with day-to-day lives. Ma'am has been talking about rent. Sir has been talking, Bish sir has been talking to some concepts. Well, incidentally, economics is my subject. And if I relate, I can relate the dialogue with one very important and a very easy thing. The law of demand states that other things remaining the same, the quantity demanded of a commodity is inversely proportional to the price of the commodity. Now, this is something which is very scary. पता नहीं मैम ने क्या बोल दिया, and so on. और यदि मैं एक इतनी सी बात आपसे पूछूं कि चंदोक सर, यदि केले 20 रुपए के एक दर्जन है तो आदमी ज्यादा खरीदेगा, या 10 रुपए के एक दर्जन है तो ज्यादा खरीदेगा?
Obviously 10 rupees से ज्यादा खरीदेगा, ma'am.
It is as simple as this. We as educationists sometimes put things in such a complicated manner that even a very simple thing appears to be very, very scary. So maths teaching is about facilitating the child with easy examples. I know a lot of children, they know what is area, what is volume, but if you ask them, can you calculate the area of this room? They will not be able to do that, because they cannot visualize meters and feet and so on. We have heard that story of a famous scientist who was behind HIV yielding varieties, And when he was taken in the wheat field, he could not recognize the wheat plant. So in order to facilitate maths, we have to make easy lesson plans. But now the question is, excuse me, हम पढ़ा तो किसी और तरीके से रहे हैं. We are teaching with art integrated, with experiential learning, but the questions are simple knowledge based. So will that teaching hold meaning in a scenario where parents are running after the marks? Definitely not. So as Bhavna ma'am was saying, the number game is over. I hope it actually happens in a country like ours, that the number game actually has to stop somewhere, as long as the question papers are not modified, as long as the question papers will only be knowledge based. Till then, mathematics learning, or for that matter, any learning through discovery learning, through experiential learning, through art integrated, will only be fancy terms. They will be meaningless. So to facilitate maths teaching, of course, the approach of maths teacher, and then of course the setting up of question papers, which is more analytical, which is reasoning, which is case-based, and so on. And then we teach formulas, but do we teach the derivation of the formulas? If we are able to teach the derivation, then the understanding will become clear.
Right,
So
ma'am.
that's it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Chandra.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please have a glass of water. Next, we come up to Dr. Kirti Chaturvedi, ma'am. Ma'am, we are talking about artificial intelligence also today. So how has artificial intelligence helped in making maths more easy and interesting, according to you?
Actually, my answer was many a places covered with each of the speaker who spoke before me. And in fact, most of the part what Nirmal sir said in the beginning. But before that, two things I would like to add up. One is when Pratima ma'am was talking about that multiplication is actually just repeated addition. I would like to give you an example which I encountered yesterday only in my office, when a parent came in a very disturbed way, saying that, ma'am, grade 1 teacher maths, your teacher knows nothing. I said, I agree. Please let me know what happened. So she showed me the notebook talking about multiple addition, like 7 plus 7. 7 table was shown as repeated addition over there. And it was like actually a long rectangle was looking as of calculations. But within that, the process was very simple. The repeated addition was going on, and the teacher was trying to build the concept that if we are adding 13 times, it becomes 7 into 13. As simple as that. It was 13 because generally we don't go beyond 10. So like she made it this way. Ma'am, this long calculation, how my child is going to remember? Before looking into what exactly is being done into the question, actually, the parent, I simply asked, ma'am, what do you do? To my utter surprise and actually what disappointment, she was a teacher. She told me, ma'am, I'm a teacher, I'm an educationist, and that's why I'm talking to you. It disturbed me. How can a teacher give the, definitely a teacher cannot give it, keep the notebook, I'll look into it. Then of course nothing has to be done on this. So when we say now why maths is a hawa, maths is a hawa because of this also. Absolutely. We always talk about teachers, we talk about teaching strategies, we talk about students, we do not talk about the mindset of parents related to maths. Sometimes the orientation of parents is also needed to let them know that please free your children, let them explore on their own and stop getting in these issues this way. At least there was no point of getting in discussion with such a parent. So better I would explain the child and I'll clarify the issue that way. This was one thing. So maths is actually a homework. At times we have made it. We means I include everybody as not me or you. It's in general. Another thing which I observed is that this pandemic, of course, if you try to find positivity in the utmost negativity, this pandemic has given us a chance to explore our capacities, our children's capacity in terms of online smart things, what we say, digital things, the gadgets, the apps, the exploration around the globe, what is happening. And the pandemic at times has made our children better in that ways. My experience with my school children also, with my kids also, is the same. Now, when we are talking about AE, the beautiful term which has come up with NEP, and it has actually gained all my attention, and I am working throughout the day for getting this into practicality in my school, is competency based learning. When we say right now, we are of course not in competency based anywhere. We finish the year and we push the child with a report card into next year without even looking at the competencies, whether the child is competent enough to handle grade 8 or not. We push the child to grade 8. Now, when we are talking about competency based learning, artificial intelligence is the best tool that can be there. Now, I will steal some terms that you all used in between. One was the formative assessment that Nimal sir used. Actually, formative assessment is the best tool which I feel for teaching learning process, because it gives you the immediate reflection of the child, and you can incorporate in learning for bridging the gaps immediately rather than waiting for pen paper test results or essay 1 and all. There, artificial intelligence can play a wonderful role, because when a child is starting with a test, the next level of the test will according to the competency of the child, what he performed in the previous one. This is one thing. Second thing is, I believe, is test. When we say, it is not always the test of this into this or something like calculations, which are not at all needed, not the demand of the day as of now, right? What is needed is, are they able to understand that particular scenario which is presented to them and then come out to a conclusion? It could be a case study, it could be any sort of problem based thing. Like there was a question online, I saw that video where 3 different jars were given of different capacity, and 9 liters of water was supposed to be distributed in a specific manner to 3 jars. So the volume concept was used in that way. And also the concept was used of converting liter to meter cube or cc, centimeter cube. So that concept, but it was, the visualization was created in a way that child will not feel that he is doing a maths problem, but he is actually doing that. So again, the second term which I would like to add over here is that AI is helping us to create that visualization which is very much needed to understand a subject. If I am talking, it is important in every subject. If I am talking about India, the map of India, it should be right now also, I feel that all of us would get that visualization of map of India as soon as we listen to that word. Of course, the map comes in front of us for once at least. If that visualization is created, the understanding of the subject automatically becomes easy, and AI could play an important role over there. The third thing where AI can be important is the remedial, because AI will give us that opportunity where the child can learn with their own pace, at times with their own time, and they can also go for repeating the same thing if they feel like. So if they have not understood the concept, they can enter into the remedial sessions which are available with the apps also. Some of the schools, like my school also, we are creating certain remedial smart sessions for our kids that they can go through in their leisure time, maybe in evenings and night. So that is one thing. There is a wonderful concept in AI I have read, is a virtual mentor that can be created. That is, of course, a virtual mentor is something who is at every point of that test that the child is going through, maybe a series of 10 tests of different types, in maybe in terms of sequencing, maybe in terms of mathematical operations, maybe in terms of number line, the sequencing, and then the mentor is actually assessing each level and then accordingly providing feedback to the child for the next level. So the competency is automatically getting worked out. So what I'm trying to say is that children are very well equipped to use the gadgets now. From very early ages, they can handle it very well. Pandemic has taught them to use all that in all positive and negative senses. how to
Right, ma'am.
function the video also of your laptop
So,
and all this.
so Deepti ma'am, we can say that artificial intelligence is a quite a help to the kids, because what you
Yes.
want to say exactly is if a child is not able to ask any question inside the class, because the children will make fun of him, "Ke tumko nahi aaya, how you are so such a fool." So he can come back at home, he can use up these type of apps where he can see that how he can do it correct.
We can
And
say in one line, it promotes competency-based learning
right.
at individual pace.
Rest
That's
Nirmal sir will tell us that how did it help us.
yes.
Neighbor sir will, thank you,
I
ma'am.
just want to add one thing here,
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure.
if you permit.
Sure, ma'am.
Dipti ma'am, you have, this is the one thing which I always talk about, core competencies. This is what I've learned through Pathak sir. I believe Trilok sir he's the owner of this DPSG schools. So I spent around 10 years in my old that school. So I just want to say one thing to you. Here we just want to, as we are talking about the middle age group only, here gamification. Why? You talked about formative assessment. Why the children are love to play games. Gamification give them the end result within so spontaneous. They gives marks, they earn money, they use it, and our assessment, we are taking it in the month of July, giving the result in the month of August. So the whole purpose defeat. Where is the competency? Where is the output? How to bridge the learning gap? So there is no work about it.
No.
So gamification is the next field, and I believe so many things are coming up. AI is just a tool for this, and I believe there will be n number of things which are coming up. This company Countrywell is one. There is some more which I'm known to, and I'm using that also. There is so much advanced. I'm using some technology which for the weak student, wherein I can trace, that app will trace me that how the face expression in online, you can trace my face expression, that my eyes were there at till what time, engagement of my mind in throughout the session. I have a complete analysis of that for that session. So this is also one thing which which I'm applying for the weak students remedial classes.
Amazing research you have done, ma'am. Nirmal sir,
Yeah.
you are in Aapki Adalat. Yes, ma'am.
Amidst all the euphoria about artificial intelligence various apps, and the way they can facilitate us, there is a word of caution that the human element in education is very, very important. And we are here not to develop robots. We are here to develop beautiful human beings who can be compassionate, who can empathize, who can correlate with the sufferings. So I would exercise a little restraint in adopting too much technology in schooling.
Right.
Because schooling is the time when emotional quotient is being developed, and technology should not become the master.
Ma'am, anything in excess is bad. Anything,
yeah.
anything. If it is being used in limited quantity or a limited area, so that will be very helpful. That is for sure. And what is this? This Neighbor sir will Neighbor sir, coming up to you. Neighbor sir, you will let us know that you have heard all the eminent guests, especially Bhavna ma'am and Pratima ma'am and Deepti ma'am also and Trilok sir also. Please answer to all the questions all together. That how it is like, excess use of the app, or how it is doing it, how it is finding out the weak students, everything in combination. How is actually these type of your apps like Counting Bell and all, they help the students and they're not making them disabled.
Sure.
हमने अपने बच्चों को चलाना है और दौड़ाना है, हमको अपाहिज नहीं बनाना है. So how does they help them to run, not to become disabled instead?
So first thing I will say that कि दीप्ति मैम ने सब कुछ कह दिया जो मैं कहना चाहता था about artificial intelligence in our app, right? That is exactly what we have built in. कि it has to go with the pace of the child, it has to go with the learning level of the child, and it also has to give the child the right kind of feedback. Now when I say feedback दो तरह से होता है. एक तो it is a kind of written feedback, you can say, ki, you're saying that you did well in this topic, you did not do well in this topic. The other is the audio visual feedback, which is working at the mind level, right? So where you give a feedback, it's a nice ping, aisa kuch baja, and the child feels, oh, I've achieved something. And that is a level of encouragement to move to the next level. So that is the kind of thing that goes into this kind of a app. Now, I will address specifically what Pratima ma'am said, because that is something which I myself believe in. And they say that sitting is the next smoking, right? कि जो effect smoking करता है किसी human की life में, वही चीज बहुत देर बैठने से करता है. And when you bring technology, you say gadget लेके आप पढ़ो, तो kids are always sitting. We don't want them to do that. So one of the things which we have built into our app is that we have created what we call as micro learning modules. So every 1 year worth of content is broken into about 300 learning objectives. And what we do is we create a 20-minute learning plan for the child. And we say that today you do a 20-minute workout. That's all. You don't do anything more than that. In that 20 minutes, you will achieve 2 or 3 learning objectives. Bus. Don't do more than that. What it will do is 2 things. One, it will ensure that the screen time is reduced. The child is not sitting and using too much of gadget time. But secondly, it is also giving child enough input that meets the attention level of the child. It is not giving so much input that the child is not even attending to it anymore, right? So what Bhavna ma'am was saying, ki we look at it whether the child is still attentive or not through artificial intelligence. We are doing this by kind of building a psychology. We are saying that no more than 20 minutes, 20 minutes mein aap 2 ya 3 cheezein sikho, you will feel that you have achieved something that will build your confidence. At the same time, we will restrict it. We will say that don't do more than that, right? So that way the child is always learning, but at the same time, we are not overdoing it. Now, the other side of it is also what we realized is, and everybody here talked about it, ki, there is too much focus on calculations. There is too much focus on formula. There is too much focus on definition. There are other things when it comes to math problem solving beyond that, right? So what we realized is that the most important part is English. There is so much English in maths and we don't focus on that so much, right? In the maths class, hum nahi focus karte hain. So we say that one, there is a lot of attention to be given to comprehension skills. How do we develop comprehension skills?
That is why statement sums are very difficult at times.
Exactly.
That is why statement, and the child would understand that, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, but the child is not able to understand the question.
Absolutely. Yeah, and simple thing, right? What we say, one example we give is 768 divided by 4. How much is it? The child will do it. Now, if I tell the child that in this school, there are 768 students and 1 in 4 children have a personal computer at home. So how many children have personal computer at home? And they don't know what to do, right? So first of all, they have to understand कि आपसे क्या पूछा है हमने, उसमें what are the pieces of information which are provided to you and what is it that you have to do. So one is comprehension. The second is modeling. How are you going to model a solution before you apply some kind of calculation? Then you apply whatever calculation you want, doesn't matter. But these 2 skills are very important. This is what goes into building your logical reasoning, analytical skills, critical thinking, hum jo bhi kahen. But these are the critical components of those skills. So what we do is that when we do the assessment, we do an assessment of the child, whether they have these skills or not. If they don't have, then we start building these skills. So when we do a formative assessment, it's not simply a formative assessment for a specific concept or a specific topic. It is also linking with these specific skills. And that's what we build on. And that's where the artificial intelligence comes in. And it brings the ability to test the child on all these skills and customize the learning path for the child. And what happens is that, we say that we have determined this learning gap. This is the skill which is missing. Let us fill that. So tomorrow when the child is going back to class, then the child is ready with that skill, not simply by having learned that topic, but by having developed that skill, right? That is very, very important. The second part I will touch upon is the gamification. And it's very interesting, right? So how gamification can be applied. Now, there is one way of gamification where we say that, you will earn points and you will earn coins and this and that, which is kind of artificial gamification, but that helps because, it adds what we call as a dopamine kick to the child. Every time they say, I earned a coin, the child is happy. Ki maine kuch kiya, right? I achieved something. The second thing, what we have built in and we learned this over last year, is that we hold competitions from time to time. So now in April, we are going to do what we call as the Ramanujan Maths Scholarship. To the child, it is that they are going to participate in a scholarship test. उसमें उनको 500 रुपए 1000 रुपए कुछ scholarship prize मिलेगा. Okay, and we are going to give it to about 300 students. That is one side of it. What we are really doing here, we are going to give them a learning module, and we are going to say that you have to complete this learning module to qualify for the scholarship test. What does that do? What we are going to do is that this learning module is going to cover all their learning prerequisites which are required for them to move into the next academic year. Because everybody touched upon this topic as well, where they said that कि जो मैं 6th grade में सीखता हूँ वही मुझे 7th grade में काम आता है, वही मुझे 8th grade में काम आता है. So if I'm moving to 7th grade, have I achieved all my prerequisites from the previous year? If I have not, then I will definitely have the learning gaps which will keep building up. So what we are doing is that now we are saying that we will give you all the learning which is required for you to move into 7th grade, which means all the 6th grade of learning which is required to move into 7th grade. Okay, now, as part of that learning, you will learn all the prerequisites, and your scholarship test will cover only those concepts. To the child, it is a test. I'm competing, I'm winning, all those things. But what we have achieved is that we have covered all those learning gaps which they might encounter and which they will be required to fill to get into the next grade. So this way, we are filling the gap. We are creating that environment for the child, which is a motivating environment, because they are encouraged to learn and then compete. And at the same time, we will go back to schools and we will say, here is a report. ये देखिए आपके बच्चों ने ये सीखा है जो उनको सीखने की जरूरत है for them to get into the next grade. These are the gaps. If you have to cover them, please cover these gaps. Then the child will be ready to start the 7th grade. Instead of simply saying that 7th grade start कर दो, जो 6th में सीखा, जो marks आए, जो आए, वो नहीं आए, right? So that's what Bhavna ma'am was saying. कि once I achieve certain marks, then I have moved into the next grade. I don't care about previous grade. That cannot happen with mathematics. So that's what we try to do. Even in our whole learning content, we have built it in such a way that every time you learn something, and if you fail, we test if it is because of certain lack of skill or is it because of certain lack of knowledge of the previous grade. And if you lack that, then we will cover that and then come back. So that way, we are always checking whether you don't know something because of previous grade or it is because of some other reason. That's another area where artificial intelligence helps, but that's another area where technology steps in, creates this whole environment for the child, which is motivating, encouraging. And I would urge all of you that please send your children to participate in this scholarship. I will send you the details later as well. But
I hope this is also free of cost, sir.
yeah, it is free. हम तो पैसा दे रहे हैं बच्चों को. We are giving prizes to the kids, right?
See,
but the idea
sir,
is that it builds up.
Yes, and Nirmal sir, while we were talking, the two things I got it very interesting. First is that 20 minutes study you are giving, that piece in 20 minutes, whatever job. We feel that when we were in class of 35 or 40 minutes, the first 20 minutes are the best one. Even when we were going, if you remember, all of us remember, कि जब हम क्लास में पढ़ाने जाते थे, the first 20 minutes are the best one. After 20 minutes, it fades on. So you are giving that time, that 20 minutes, the style to study, he will gain that. Before he gets bored with that, he has to move from there. हट गया वहां से. So that interest will keep on, because the next day when he come up to the class, he'll be crazy for coming up. No, I'm getting it. When the child is learning, it is getting it. He's getting it. He's able to understand. He's sitting and he's trying to solve the question. He's not able to solve the question once, twice, thrice, or 4 times. The 5th time, it will become phobia. That is the main reason that maths becomes a phobia. But at the very same time, when it becomes easy for him, वो question solve करता है, उसको आते जाते हैं, he has interest in that. Right? Look, sir, we do it in commerce also. We were doing it that when we come to accountancy, the first thing I used to say in the class that accounts is the easiest subject. There is one concept. The flexibility is the flexibility you have to understand, and the whole chapter will revolve around the same concept. And we had to tell about the practical example how it evolves down. A 10 rupees pen, it costs you 6 rupees in at your factory. It is a gross profit. From the factory, there are certain expenses which you have to expend to send it to the market where the customers can buy. 2 rupees more expended on that. So that difference, 4 rupees, is the net profit. How do you calculate the profit there? Why? Because you have to curtail your expenses if you want to increase your profit. So there are concepts, there are examples which can be taken along with the while teaching to the students any subject. And economics also, I'm in economics also teaching, admin teaching sometime economics also. The same thing. If an economics teacher is not teaching it with examples, so national income is the, सबसे horrified. Although national income is the easiest one in the whole economics, micro and macroeconomics is the easiest one.
Because it's conceptual.
Yes, conceptual. You have to understand it. You don't have to learn it. That is why conceptual and case study based everything, every subject has become now. Thank you, Nirmal sir. We come on to the next round. We are in shortage of time. A very short answer, a 1 minute answer will be needing from all of you. Please request. Trilok sir will come up to you. I know you are tired, sir. It is seen that children in middle school.
I'm enjoying it.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Thank
really enjoying it. And I want to be more of a listener today.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Everybody speaking so beautifully.
Sir, we
Yeah.
will like to listen to you also, sir. You have a plethora of knowledge, sir. It is seen that children in middle school lose interest in mathematics. According to you, in 1 minute, what are the reasons behind it?
I think in middle school, the students start to question themselves whether the maths they're learning has any relevance or application in their real life. This is one question which comes to the mind. And sadly, to say this, that the way we mathematics we are transacting as a teacher, how we are transacting mathematics in classroom, this question remains unaddressed for the majority of the students, because even teachers are not bothered. They just want to finish up the syllabus. We are in a rat race of finishing up the syllabus altogether. And most of the times, they're just doing maths as a subject of their syllabus, learning formulae and solving questions using the steps modeled by the teachers. They're not given enough time and opportunities to use their insight and their imagination. So I think, there is always a fear of failure attached to mathematics amongst the children, whether they'll be able to get the correct answer or not. Gradually, what happens? They lose the interest in the subject altogether. And according to me, Chandok sir, only way out is to appreciate an appreciation only for the children. If they're doing one step right, appreciate for that. No, even CBSE says step marking. Each
Yeah.
step should be appreciated. The child feels good. Once he gives the answer, you say, very well done, beta. Bravo. You're a wonderful child. You're a mathematics genius. When we appreciate the people, their tempo goes high and they start taking a little interest. But in contrary, what happens in our day-to-day life, we are always saying mathematics is not your cup of tea. You're not able to do it. And even parents are doing the same, teachers are doing the same. Child is in a complete, he's in oblivion altogether what to do. So I think the interest loses just because of we, the elders, because the teacher only can make the subject interesting, or teacher can make it a most boring subject altogether. We teachers actually lack the skill of appreciating the children. We always find fault. I tell you, a child's father coming to my school for the result, I'm a class teacher. I'm saying, see, sir, the child has scored 98 in English, 96 in science, but 45 in maths. I'm just clinging to the negative. I'm saying the child has got only 45, he needs to work very hard. He's not doing work, the kind of things which come are all negativity altogether is vomited out by the teacher. Teachers needs to appreciate the child for what he's good at, because
Good time.
everybody cannot be good at everything. So we need to tap the potential of the child at the right age, and for that, the appreciation is one way where we this when the approach actually diminishes the creativity of the child when we are not appreciating and we are pinpointing the follies only. Our approach is now to make it a student-led an inquiry-based education where the children take the ownership. We keep them into the center of everything and then explore and provide them the direction. I think children will feel better when they connect with the teacher. That connect and teacher-student connect has to be built up first of all. I think for that we need to work very hard, and appreciation decreases the gap between the teacher and the taught, and strengthens the process of dialogue between. If we appreciate the children, it really strengthens the dialogue between the teacher and the taught. And if this dialogue starts, then the child feels comfortable coming to the teacher. Sir, I'm not able to understand this. Just one link, you clear it then and there only. His concepts are clear, but only that fear of being pointed out, fear of being, the tick marked in front of the whole class, saying that this child doesn't know anything. And I'm telling you, we teachers are quite capable of doing all this. whether me or anyone, we still need in the process of changing. We are moving from rote learning to the inquiry-based learning. So in the process, we find many of the teachers are finding it very difficult to change themselves. As a result, the children are losing their interest. So I blame us for this interest, which is interest deficit amongst our children. So we need to work on the teacher development and teachers capacity building, where we want them to come onto this way that they must address the children's concern as to what is the practicability, what is the applicability of what the concept they're learning. I think if we do that, if we connect it with the day-to-day life, things will be much better. And it's always the teacher who can create the interest or kill the interest. Thank you.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. You are absolutely right, sir. A teacher has to make the subject interesting at all. Taking examples and appreciating. Two things are important for that. Thank you, sir. We'll come up to Bhavna ma'am. Bhavna ma'am, it is always seen that children try to learn mathematics. They take mathematics same as the other subjects are. So what are your suggestions to the teacher in precise that how should they make a maths interesting, or how should they teach that the children will understand the concepts of mathematics?
I believe my all the it's a very good question, and I this is what I was about to say. See, uh, all of the panelists have given their thought, and I just want to say, Pratima ma'am, for me, if you ask me, learning of mathematics is very much important, because we have to tell them that you have to grab the concept from the early years. I'm talking about when the child has been introduced with the numeracy, number one, number two. From that day one, it's an interlinking, it's seeding. So my suggestion is, for the parent, that Dipti ma'am has rightly said, don't make a fear factor that you will not be able to. This is very difficult subject, very difficult subject. Don't do with it. And the teachers, my suggestion is that they have to opt for a policy called learning by doing. They will not be able to transfer their, say, I believe a teacher, Pratima ma'am, I just want to add here, being a computer science teacher, that being a teacher, I say that I am a learner which has a little more capability to understand the things faster, and I'm just passing my learning to you. So for this reason, I am taking a tool, which can be AI app, which sir has counting well, it can be any app or anything, like your chalk and duster. So teacher will remain teacher, and that empathy, that bonding, that social equation, that will never go off, and it will never be. But the thing is this, we need to see our students are smart students. So the teacher has to be a smart teacher. How? And to be a smart teacher, the teacher has to equip her lesson plan. That's what Trilok sir has said. The teacher can break and make. The teacher has to plan a lesson plan in such a way that the child can see the learning outcome which we talk about, which NEP talk about, which CBSE talking about, everybody is talking about, the learning outcome, achievable learning outcome. The teacher has to plan for that. Is also, if she will not prepare, then the purpose is defeated. You may plan, you may start, but if you are not able to answer the query of the student, that purpose is defeated. Then the third most important thing goes without saying is the need for the teachers themselves to do research. This is very, very essential. So these three suggestions are there for the teachers. Yes, sir has rightly said, we need to develop, we need to use the real world tools, inquiry-based learning, then rich problem-solving task and easy differentiation, relevant pedagogy, innovative pedagogy, all the things are there. But these are the three basic things which I feel like and which I recommend, that plan your lesson in such a way that the whatever you are saying, art integration, physical integration, physical education integration, you can do anything if your planning is strong. This is
Right.
my
Right,
submission.
ma'am.
So
Thank
this
you.
is the
Thank you so
suggestion
much. Thank you so
for
much,
the
ma'am.
teachers.
Pratima ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Pratima ma'am, your suggestions on the saying that, to the teachers that mathematics is a difficult subject in a short manner.
Mathematics is a difficult subject because the approach to mathematics cannot be through learning. Mathematics has to be attempted. It's like unfolding. When you attempt problems or questions in maths, and when you are able to solve those questions, the joy of solving is immense. But what is happening actually is, even if the lesson plans are effective, the teacher has taken pain, ultimately, when the child has to solve the question, these days children are not putting pen to paper. They are trying to attempt maths orally, and therein lies the problem. Maths has to be attempted, maths needs practice, and the more you practice it, the more mysteries
Right.
unravel, unfold, and then the joy of learning mathematics happens. Because when we say learning, it's not rote learning, it is learning to attempt mathematics. And that is very important. So practice beyond, see, lesson plans and everything is absolutely all right. Effective lesson plans, interesting lesson plans, discovery learning techniques, encouraging children and all that. But ultimately, to facilitate maths learning, even if we do it through an app, or even if we do it through whatever, the child has to put pen to paper. And when the child puts pen to paper, then only will maths happen. In short, though the time is a constraint, I will narrate a real life example which happened with me in the Avati Modi Academy in the year 98. During those days, we used to have this evening concept of telecounseling, and we had to make phone calls to parents. We as educationists do, I mean, howsoever hard we try, but then we label children weak students. And it was very important to make phone calls to the parents of weak students. So there was this child X, जिसके 9 number आए थे मैथ्स में 100 में से. So I attempted making a phone call to his mother in the evening. The first thing that the mother said was, "Ma'am, X ने तो कमाल कर दिया, 90 number आए मैथ्स में." And the moment she said this, I said, "Yes, इसने तो कमाल कर दिया, एक 0 लगा दिया." And I said, "Exactly, ma'am. मैंने इसीलिए तो आपको फोन किया है, आपको ये बताने के लिए, see the child has come such a long way." अगले दिन क्लास में आया बच्चा, वो क्लास 12 थी. मैंने उससे कहा, "बोल बेटा, मार दिया जाए या छोड़ दिया जाए?" तो कहते हैं, "No ma'am, no ma'am, I'll never do that again." Then I said, "देख, आज से ये करना है." I would, not even count pages. ऐसे करके मैं पेजेस पकड़ लेती थी रजिस्टर में. एक पेज पे साइन करती थी, उसके बाद इतने पेजों के बाद दूसरे पे साइन करती थी, और उससे बोलती थी, "इतने करके लाने हैं तुझे." Teachers in mathematics would know there is this book ND, which is solution of NCRT. उससे टेप टेप के वो करके लाता था. I am not a person of maths. तो जब मुझे इतना पता लग जाता था इसने टेपे हैं, मैं अगली बार पेज बढ़ा देती थी. बेटा तूने आज 20 किए हैं, कल 30 कर. Gradually, we are all adults here. He realized that rape is inevitable. Let me enjoy it. Or else I'll go to the principal कि आशु ने ये किया. And then he started enjoying doing maths. And he ended up being what in life, मुझे अभी भी goosebumps आते हैं. इतना, he was just below average child. His parents did not pay for the CLAT examination. And then मैंने अपने घर के पीछे गटर पे बैठ के 700 रुपए दे के उसका सिम्बायोसिस पुणे का एग्जाम भरा. क्लैट तब नहीं होता था. And today he is a leading advocate in the country. So maths has to come by practice. And the child must attempt. Orally solved examples करके जब बच्चे करते हैं, तब उस वक्त तो उन्हें लगता है हमने कर लिया. But actually it does not happen in the paper. So that is important.
Practice. So practice is very important for mathematics.
Practice is very important.
I have experimented this time that one kind of a question, you have to do 20 questions of that same variety again and again. So this will enhance your skill to do that kind of a question. And this is the only way, because it is the, you have rightly said, that is what I said, learning by doing. You will not be able to have learn mathematics, or you can do orally. It has to be like this only, that you have to write and write and write 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, and then again.
Attempt.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Thank
this
you.
signing, ma'am, I'm following it with my kids also.
Right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Chandok,
Yes, sir. Please.
I'm saying that we the teachers need to change our mindset also. Repeating the same thing again and again doesn't make sense actually, Understanding is very important. If the child understands in one go only, why to repeat it again and again? Because every question is a different methodology. Every question the child has to use their gray matter and find out how to solve it.
What Bhavna ma'am wanted to say, 20
I just tell you,
types
sir.
of the concept. Say, for example, 20 questions in equations, linear equations, or 20 questions in equations with two variables, and so on.
And the number has been changed. The body of the question is same, sir. So this is a strategy which is tried and tested so many times, and it worked. And understanding, say, how the child, we start reading at very early age. Everybody is talking about sight word. The child will learn this. So this is the same concept. As well, as if right now, just ma'am has explained this, that the child is now a very big advocate in the country. So what he has done, citing, writing again and again, has made that thing and
Bhavna
that
ma'am,
concept.
Bhavna ma'am, sir, Trilok sir, I'll speak on your behalf, sir.
I
Trilok
just
sir.
want to see we can agree to disagree, We can agree to disagree, but I still disagree that we should have the rote learning, mugging up, repeating again and again the same thing. It's again the same. We're going back to the old education.
Sir,
Attempting questions is important.
Trilok sir, I'm putting
Sir.
up your case. Trilok sir, I'm putting up your case. Bhavna ma'am, my son is going in grade 9. He's in grade 8.
Yeah.
He's very good at studies, but because of pandemic, all the students didn't study much. So he said that 12 chapters are coming in my mathematics in final examination, and there are 4 to 5 exercises in each chapter. How will be able to do so many 20 pages of one concept again and again? That will take a year to do all the concepts. So look, sir, you want to say the same thing, and he will, and that will be because every question sir wants to say is that every question has a different concept. Every question has a different concept, little bit or more. The concepts are different. Might be you are saying, you want to say that the same concept, nearer by same concept questions you are giving again and again, so that gradually the interest creates and he comes up to the understanding of the concept. He will love it. He will love it.
I think
say for example, I was just talking about
maths has to be attempted.
Bhavna is wanting to say what I'm saying are the same thing. They're just like two sides of the same coin. We are using different words for the same thing.
Yes.
But maybe I think I understand what Bhavna is saying.
Bhavna ma'am, yeah. Bhavna ma'am wants to say that
I just give you
when he will sit,
one example.
When he will sit, he will do mathematics. He will love it after some time. This is what you want to say, ma'am, actually.
And especially, sir, this is a strategy for the weak students. That's what ma'am was explaining.
You are
so I have just added this because for weak students, our target is, say, for example, in class 6, simple interest is coming, understanding quadrilateral is coming, and these are the few chapters which we are going to give. So let the child, there are some set of questions which will be coming. So let them understand, because there is a language problem also. Nirmal sir has rightly said that is the basic problem with the 80% of the students, that they don't able to comprehend the question. So we try to bridge that gap so that the child, those who are scoring less, they are able to at least clear the examination. This is the word, this is the strategy we need to follow. Yes, you are absolutely right. Practice, and that what the example you quote, that you can't be able to do all these questions. There are 12 chapters, 5 topics, 5 exercises, and everything is there. But the thing is this, that how capable you are to manage your time, to balance your time, to balance your strategy, to attempt at least. You can't do it orally. That's what Pratima ma'am has said. This is what they are doing.
Maths
right
cannot
now.
be done orally. It has to be attempted.
So what the kids are doing, they open the book, 6.1,
Yeah.
I have seen the exercise, I'm done.
I'm done.
6.2, I've seen the exercise, I'm done. So
Right, ma'am.
this is the
Right,
strategy.
ma'am. Deepti ma'am, you want to say something? You're on mute, ma'am.
Yes, just two things I would like to put. I think I have taken all the points to that ways, but somewhere, yes, what Trilok sir was saying, I am on that pace. I will not agree at certain level. Just with an example, I would like to make my thing clear. There is a concept in triangles in grade 6, I believe, when we say that if any triangle is made, then sum of two sides is always greater than the third side. At times, a student find it difficult to understand whether the sum of two sides is greater than, or it could be equal also. It cannot be equal. It is always greater than the third side. This is the concept, right? I agree that if you give them 10 questions of this type, 10 triangles or something, and they attempt it on paper, and maybe my experience is slightly different from you, but what I have seen is that there is a book, R.D. Sharma, I think Bible of
Every
Mathematics.
child's nightmare.
Exactly, right. So when you are using that word nightmare, and when I asked my teachers to give them multiple examples or multiple questions for the practice, that nightmare word was used by the children also. That rather than understanding the triangle concept, they were okay, they know that they have to do it. Why they have to do it was not there even after doing 10 questions, honestly speaking. This is my experience. Then next step was, we actually asked my art teacher to cut triangles of random dimensions, and we put it on teacher's table. Then we gave the students half an hour, come with your scales and pencils, that's it. Measure every triangle and put the relation on paper. After checking 10 triangles, 11th time, they all were clear that sum of two sides is greater than third side without attempting any question. So I try to put things in this way, to be very honest. When I was talking about the perimeter of rectangle, I used to teach even grade 4, grade 5 random classes. I don't take any class throughout the grades, but any one class, one day, I definitely move in and I teach. So grade 5, area concept. Yes, it is easy when you draw a rectangle on board and length into breadth, do it 10 times and length into breadth is clear to you. Okay, but still application based will not be clear is my experience. I asked them to take up their pencil boxes. Now measure. And now give me the area. So these, and then again, next step, when we are going into L into B into H, please measure the height of the same pencil box what you used for area. Then you will come to know that I used to have bangles. So when I used to teach their volume of cylinder, what I used to do is one bangle. Then above that, so 2 pi r h will become the surface area, because 2 pi r, 2 pi r, 2 pi r h times we are doing. So they will, my older students used to tell me that whenever we see a cylinder, this 2 pi r h with bangles become clear to me. Pi r square is one circle above, pi r square h becomes the volume of the cylinder. As many bangles of till height, that becomes the, so how the area of the circle is related to the volume of the cylinder comes very clear. This understanding will not develop when you give them 20 questions.
See,
this is what I think Trilok sir was trying to say. That's it.
This is the approach of teaching, ma'am.
Not there about, I'm so sorry, Pratima ma'am, you please speak first.
I'm sorry, Bhavna ma'am. This is the approach towards teaching, the methodology, which indeed is wonderful, and it should happen like this. But the question here was difficulty level of mathematics. Now, what happens even if they understand the concept, but the difficulty level at times remains the same because they do not attempt.
Yeah.
And then
after using this methodology, using this methodology, when you go for practice, the difficulty level.
Ma'am, Deepti ma'am, what Bhavna ma'am and Pratima ma'am wants to say is that the weak students who have the phobia of mathematics, they don't practice. They don't practice.
Mr. Chandhok, I really condemn the word weak student. No child is a weak student.
I mean,
I don't like that.
I mean, I'm so sorry. Those who are not doing well in mathematics, those who have phobia of the mathematics, when they are not practicing, first of all, the culture of practicing has to be created, which is being talked about Bhavna ma'am and Pratima ma'am. As soon as when they will come into the practice of mathematics, gradually they will come up to the understanding also. जब अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं करेंगे, जब अटेम्प्ट करने की उनको आदत
सर
डालेंगे,
शुद्ध हिंदी में बोलूं तो जब विजुअलाइज ही नहीं करेंगे तो अटेम्प्ट बिल्कुल नहीं करेंगे
मैम
प्रैक्टिकली, ये मैं बता दूं।
हम
They have to
विजुअलाइजेशन तो करा
visualize to
चुके हैं मैम।
attempt.
मैम दिस
मैम
इज
विजुअलाइजेशन
द
तो क्लास में
प्रोसेस
करा
ऑफ,
चुके।
करा चुके हैं, नहीं, दिस इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ जस्ट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ differentiated learning wherein each and every child is unique. You need to observe the where is the improvement area of the child, and then you follow all these strategies. I just in my previous section I just gave the example of using a tool wherein I am helping my students in improving their competencies with the help of a tool wherein I am just engaged and using AR and VR in that. So this is how we need to think as an educator, that we need to give and we need to say, because each and every child is unique and no child left behind. So this is the policy to take care of each and every child. The concept, see, I have used, when you are teaching area, you can even use, and my teachers have used pencil, pen, how what is the area of this table where you are sitting, how to calculate. If you don't have a scale, use this hand to measure that. So there are n number of things when you are just transacting and making them this particular concept clear in their mind. But then there are few ones, those who need hand holding. कई बच्चे अपने आप चलना सीख जाते हैं मैम, कई बच्चों को वो लेके देना पड़ता है रेड़ा, आई डोंट नो व्हाट यू से, और कई बच्चों को हाथ पकड़ पकड़ के चलाना पड़ता है। कई बच्चे जो हैं वो वो हाथ पकड़ के भी नहीं चलते, 2 साल 2.5 साल हो जाते हैं फिर भी नहीं चलते, डॉक्टर को दिखाना पड़ता है। तो हर उसकी स्टेजेस होती है।
नहीं मैम, भावना मैम, आई एग्री विद यू, आई एग्री विद यू, बिकॉज समटाइम्स इट हैपेंस कि जब दैट बिकम्स अ फोबिया विद द चाइल्ड, इफ इवन यू आर showing certain things and concepts के pencil है, ये pencil box है, when it becomes a phobia they won't understand it. The concept with them is कि मुझे समझ में आने वाला नहीं है।
Chandok sir, some other time,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
we are mixing matters, maths is a
Yes.
phobia, not because children don't understand it. Maths is a phobia
Teachers.
because children don't
Parents and
score.
teachers.
Don't stop.
Because everybody has created that. डरा
Yeah.
देते हैं, और ये मैथ्स बड़ा मुश्किल है।
Has to be removed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Nirmal sir, you have seen all the discussion. You were very quietly listening to everyone. The
I was
Rajya Sabha,
enjoying it.
the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha discussion going on.
I was really enjoying the debate. But
Yes, sir. But this is
I
your
will
time
add to
now.
this- What I will add
Yeah.
to this is data. Okay, we had about 75,000 students who have used our app in the last year, 2021. And out of that, we took out a lot of data as to what is the learning pattern, what are the learning gaps in majority of children, how they are learning, all of that. What we found is that the children who are doing well, they do a lot of practice. Okay, now it is, remember what I'm trying to say is that it is the ulta of what we are thinking कि practice करने से अच्छा कर रहे हैं। हमने क्या देखा कि जो अच्छा कर रहे हैं वो और practice कर रहे हैं, और जो अच्छा नहीं कर रहे हैं वो practice से मुकर रहे हैं, because probably that if they practice the same kind of problem again and again, they will keep making the same mistake again and again. So where is the learning happening, right? So what we realized is that the people who are not practicing, we have to give the intervention in between and say that this is where the problem is, isko correct karo, isko sikho, and then you go back and practice further, instead of asking them to keeping on practicing and hoping that if they do the same thing 20 times, at the 20th time it will improve. That is not likely to happen. What is likely to happen is by 15th time itself, they will be turned off. They will think that you may say, hoi nahi raha. So rather than that, if we identify that this gap is causing them to not learn or to not do well, let's fill that gap and then give the practice at the next level. So practice karo, but always keep identifying the gap and always keep filling the gap. And I think that is a better way. So practice is required, but it is only required at a time when the child starts building that confidence that yes, I can do it. So that is my 2 cents, and that is what we have learned.
What I feel, what you want to say is that these things were happening before until now, but because of the apps like Counting One and all, the child is hesitates in the class while asking. All of the class will make fun of me that you are not able to understand how cool you are. So he hesitates, as well as the teacher also says, how can I solve the problems of all the 40 students in the 40 minutes? I cannot teach him again and again. So that what that gaps creates between the learning gap creates. Now when the child goes back home and when he opens up his app at any time it is comfortable for him, maybe at 8 at night or 2 o'clock at night, he opens that and he tries to do that and he sees where he is wrong, he's able to correct because nobody is observing him, nobody's making fun of him. He is doing that, practicing it, coming back again to next day to the school, coming up to the same level of the same level. So this thing is good. What concept? I mean, the concept of the season or this topic is that how this gap can be filled because students they feel very bad. हमको लगता है बच्चों को कुछ भी बोल देते हैं घर के अंदर तो we can say no. They also feel bad. They also have reputation. So they do not ask in the classes when they are feeling difficulty because the whole class will make fun of them. So होता क्या है कि the maths gap creates. Now when they are coming back at home and they are looking at the app again and again, and when they are practicing it and nobody is there to make fun of them, and they are able to understand that, and again they are practicing on paper and pen, that gap is always filled up. And that artificial intelligence, I hope you told that it tells where the child is wrong and where the child is right, where the child has to work. This helps the teacher also. It is not like that directly the child gets benefit. It is through the teacher the child can improve, and the burden of the teacher will also reduce. All of us are running towards the result. We should get a very good result of the school, maybe the board examination or the home examination. When the maths will be clear, it has also been seen if a child is maths and it's good in maths, very good in maths, he'll always be very good in other subjects also. Mostly exceptions are always there, that is for sure. We all the best to you, Nirbhay sir. But you spoke very late about this after 15 minutes of the discussion. But that's right.
I let everybody blow off their steam first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is why you're an expert. You are looking after that, how the people are thinking about and what is the concept. Concepts are changing. We have to change ourselves accordingly. It's not we are wrong or right. The concepts have changed. We are there for the betterment of the children. How we can improve the education of the children. Maybe any subject. We are talking about reading. We are talking about schools. We are talking about mathematics. How can we have the development of the children in any case? Mathematics, it came into my mind. That is a very interesting topic which should be taken, that how these middle school, because I'm facing myself. My daughter is elder one, my son is in 6th, 7th, 8th, how he felt with the mathematics, how it has to be taken care of. Now, this is also very good about the app also, that my son is going in class 8. So first he will have to look after in the test for that, okay, what has he done in class 7? What are the learning gaps over there? Because 7th wala proper nahi aata hoga, 8th mein wo kuch nahi kar payega. The same with 8th and 9th also, right? Thank you so much, Nilbhar sir, and thank you for coming. Next part, the last part, I hope you all know that we have a 5 minutes part where you have to sing 2 lines before departing. We had a Holi Mela, Ganga Mela today. Ma'am, you are from Kamarjipti, ma'am. Ganga Mela, you have holiday here. It is the only city where you have holiday for the schools also. So you are basically, your roots are from Kanpur, ma'am.
Sir, I am in a city where we didn't get holiday for Holi also. You are talking about Ganga Mela.
So, ma'am, but
Holidays, ma'am.
Holidays, ma'am.
It is a holiday. It's a working day for principals.
Yes,
Right.
and summer breaks also we are not supposed to. So I forgot this.
Ma'am, as I told earlier also, we are genies. We are genies. Whoever the stakeholder is, it may be parents or management or anyone. Or
we are superhumans.
Superhumans, genies,
Yes.
whatever you can say. With the smiling face, we have to be, in front of everyone. Sab ho jayega. Everything is possible.
Even when at times you feel like breaking the head of the person sitting in front, you need to smile.
Yeah.
It happens in office most of the time.
Yes. But you have to keep it. You test your patience level.
True.
Look, sir, the last session when you came, you had sung a bhajan. After that, we have created a culture that everyone has to sing. So because you have cutted that ribbon of that particular department. So I think, sir, you should start up with encourage these people with a bhajan or a song of 2 lines, sir. Please.
Yeah, we had a wonderful discussion today, right from the differentiated learning to the teachers learning. The teachers also need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So we are all into the, in this world, everything is there with us, but we are still not able to do the things. So the bhajan is all about it, where it says, मुझे सुन के ये हंसी आती है कि पानी के अंदर मछली प्यासी है, पानी के अंदर मछली प्यासी है. We are all educationers. Still, we are not able, somehow We are doing our level best, but still, we need to quench our thirst altogether. So I'll just sing a bhajan, 2-3 lines for you all with this idea only. Yeah. Can I start with everybody's permission? Everybody is ready to
Sure,
jail
sir.
of time?
सर हम सब सर के साथ ही गा लेंगे, वही ठीक है बस।
नहीं मैम, ये कैसे हो
गाना तो
सकता
मुझसे
है?
नहीं होगा।
नहीं मैम, जब आप टीचर्स डे पे, चिल्ड्रंस डे पे टीचर्स को धक्का देती थी कि
सर
यू हैव
आपको
टू
पता है
परफॉर्म
आज
दिस।
मेरा गला खराब है।
मैम आपकी तो इतनी अच्छी वॉइस है मैम, मुझे मालूम है मैम। आते हैं आपके पास, इसके बाद आते हैं, सर के बाद आते हैं आपके पास।
या आ रे ना आ मोहे सुन सुन आवे हासी रे, ओ पानी में मीन पियासी, हो पानी में मीन पियासी, मोहे सुन सुन आवे हासी रे, ओ पानी में मीन पियासी। गंगा नहाए गंगा रे नहाए, गंगा नहाए गोदावरी तीरे, भटकत फिरे उदासी रे, हो पानी में मीन पियासी, सुन 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 आवे रे हासी, मोहे सुन सुन आवे हासी रे, हो पानी में मीन पियासी, हो पानी में मीन पियासी। Thank you. Just 2-3 lines.
Amazing. Sir has a YouTube channel also. Please do visit sir's YouTube channel. He is a beautiful singer and Indian Idol winner. Sir, we are starting up with the Indian Idol, approaching to the people that they should start up a Indian Idol channel for the, for the principals and managements only, where only we will be allowed to participate. And hopefully you will go into the final for sure, sir. Because आपने ribbon काटा है, you have started this culture in this S.S. Chandhok talk show. After your singing, I mean, I was so fascinated that I said everybody has to sing on. And many principals, they were so good singers. Almost all the principals were good singers. If you don't believe that, Deepti ma'am will sing and you just see how beautifully she'll sing. Ma'am, you have to go.
No.
Ma'am,
Bilkul nahi.
Ma'am, you cannot go like this, ma'am. You cannot go like this. Only 2 lines, any 2 lines.
No, sir, I am not going off. My son is having.
देखो इंटरनेट खराब हो गया।
Ma'am, internet खराब। प्रतिमा मैम, you have to मैम आप हंस के मत दिखाइए मैम।
Excuse me, even
कविता 2 लाइनें। अच्छा चलिए, कविता 2 लाइनें।
पिछली बार तो पंकज ने मुझे बचा दिया था, मैं better half was around. Today he has not come back from office. Kindly excuse me. और यदि आप कविता की बात करते हैं तो बस 2 लाइनें अपनी स्वरचित सुना देती हूँ। 2 क्या, 1 ही लाइन। अगर आस्था है तो बंद द्वार में भी रास्ता है, अगर आस्था है तो बंद द्वार में भी रास्ता है, और चाहे कहीं दूर से भी दूर है, हर प्यास के लिए कहीं एक समंदर जरूर है, हर प्यास के लिए कहीं एक समंदर जरूर है। थैंक यू सर।
गुड मैम, वेरी गुड मैम। भावना मैम, I hope you will sing 2 lines at least.
Pratima ma'am,
I
very
just
meaningful line.
firstly,
She's there.
very nice, very nice.
कानपुर की है सर, आएंगी वापस।
This is for
Ma'am is from
Nirmal
Kanpur.
sir. He was listening so quietly. Counting Well is a learning app where they are managing all the gaps. So,
Thank you so much. That was fun.
Ma'am, but I won't say thank you, ma'am. This is not a song, ma'am. 2 lines, only 2 lines.
okay. सर सर के बाद त्रिलोक सर के बाद हमारी तो कोई फिर हम तो सर
अब त्रिलोक सर के बाद क्या कहें, अब इससे आगे क्या कहें?
चलिए काम करते हैं. I'll give an
एक
option.
ट्राई
भावना मैम,
करेंगी सर,
नहीं
छोटा
काम
सा
करते हैं.
करूंगी.
सर
हाँ.
मैं एक बताता हूँ. भावना मैम, प्रतिमा मैम और दीप्ति मैम एक साथ कर लीजिए आपको. This option we can give this.
सर एक
Online,
गाना है पर
it
हमें
should,
पता
it will be
नहीं,
like an
हम
online
पहली
class.
बार
एक
मैम
ऑप्शन
तो
सर, एक
सर
ऑप्शन
मैं भी
और
जुड़
दे
जाता हूँ, मुझे भी यहीं पे.
नहीं सर, एक ऑप्शन और दे
ठीक है सर, ठीक है सर, ठीक है.
to keep ourselves on mute.
त्रिलोक सर will take the trophy then for sure. वो तो पहले ही ले गए थे.
वो तो उनकी
अच्छा
हो गई है.
एक अटेम्प्ट करते हैं. मेरे ख्याल से सबको ये गाना आता होगा, जो है ये हौसला कैसे झुके.
अच्छा इतना लंबा खींचना है, तुझे आता है, तू सुना दे बेटा. भावना बच्चे will be happy.
आता नहीं है बट हाँ मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मैं सुनती बहुत हूँ इसको.
सुनाओ ना.
Sing, Bhavna. I think you have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful voice. I can read your face.
सुनाओ जल्दी.
राह पे कांटे बिखरे अगर उस पर फिर भी चलना ही है. शाम छुपा ले सूरज मगर रात को एक दिन ढलना ही है. रुत ये टल जाएगी, हिम्मत रंग लाएगी, सुबह फिर आएगी. ओ, ये हौसला कैसे झुके, ये आरज़ू कैसे रुके. मंजिल मुश्किल तो क्या, धुंधला साहिल तो क्या. थैंक यू सर.
Very good, Deepika. It was very good.
So good, ma'am.
No sir, I
दीप्ति
just
मैम, कानपुर का नाम खराब हो रहा है मैम, प्लीज. दीप्ति मैम
सर
प्लीज.
अब तो हो गया.
नहीं मैम, ऐसे नहीं जाने सकते कानपुर का नाम.
I finished
Can't
my
do it
turn.
like
Na?
this.
I shared those lines. Na? I finished my turn. Sir, actually, I'm a very bad singer. I do not know. I mean, I'm actually a very bad singer. You will, Trilok sir will actually leave the meeting if I'll sing.
No, we are ready to listen to you, ma'am.
Nice.
And I
Actually,
you are going to be very melodious. I heard your talk.
if you,
When you talk,
निर्मल
so
सर गाना चाहते हैं तो
नहीं,
निर्मल सर
मैं
से
नहीं
सुन
गाना
लो.
चाहता. मैं तो दीप्ति मैम से ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि आपने मुझे सुना नहीं है. जब आप वेरी बैड बता रहे हैं तो आपका पार बहुत
then,
ऊंचा
sir,
है.
we both of us will sit in a separate meeting, sing for each other, and let them go.
निर्मल से try.
yes sir.
I will try. I'll definitely
Deepti
try.
ma'am.
He's
But
singing.
after Deepti ma'am, only after Deepti ma'am.
So you start, I'll think of the song. I listen throughout the day, but if you ask me to suddenly think, it does not come.
Ma'am, you can go for the school prayer also, ma'am.
नहीं sir, that is even worse.
सर निर्मल सर गा रहे हैं. सर आपको लगता है
निर्मल
आता
sir, you
हो
will
तो हम ना
start.
गाते. हम तो कूद के गाते. हमें गाना is the only thing under the sky that I can't do.
Trilok sir, in the last session when Pratima ma'am came, her husband also sung along with her.
My better half.
My husband is a wonderful singer. He is coming to Bangalore on 26th. Sir, please have a session, and I'll ask him to sing how many songs you want from my side for future sessions, for past sessions. He will sing for all.
Nirmal sir, sing.
Wonderful singer. When I sing, he used to say, "You stop singing, otherwise I'll forget the tal of the song." That is how I sing.
Deepti ma'am, do you know that one?
Okay.
The world stands in need of liberation. You can just sing 2 lines of that prayer only. The world
Nirmal
stands
sir,
in
please
need of
go ahead, sir.
liberation, my
लिखी जाएगी, sir.
Lord.
I'm sorry, sir. I could not recall. You let me know, please, if definitely yes.
The world stands in need of liberation, my Lord. It still has to learn to love. No?
दीप्ति मैम
Sir, I am
सीधा
totally
बोलिए.
Hindi
Shri
songs,
Krishna-
Kishore Kumar types, to be very honest.
Ma'am,
When
आप
it comes to music,
सीधा-
I directly go to Kishore Kumar. Nowhere else.
दीप्ति मैम आप
Please-
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, बस ये तो सब.
No, ma'am. In that case, I remember a song which the sir knows, last time also I did the same one. I remember at least few lyrics of that I can do.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Please
Please go
close your ears. Don't listen to that.
मैम आप अपनी आंखें बंद
Please sing along, Nirmal sir. Join me. Sir, join me. चलते चलते मेरे ये गीत याद रखना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना,
मैंने भी गा दिया है।
कभी अलविदा ना कहना, बीच राह में दिल पर पता नहीं, I don't remember after that.
It's just like you got a maths paper and you just forgot the formula. It's just like that only. कि मैथ्स का पेपर मिला फाइनल का और आप फॉर्मूला भूल गए. Oh my God.
तो मुझे लिरिक्स याद है पर वो मैं चेंज नहीं कर पाती. जब मैं लाउड गाती हूँ, अकेले में गाती हूँ in my room alone, then okay. But that time nobody is judging, so anything can go.
That is a different style of Kanpurians, ma'am. You are Kanpurian, so that's a different style of Kanpurian.
Sir, I am Kanpurian by heart, and in Bangalore, whenever I talk to somebody, they immediately recognize with my voice, "You're from UP." Damn, yes, I'm from
Nirmal sir,
After
please.
23 years in Rajasthan, I have not lost my UP touch at all.
Right, ma'am. You don't lose your roots.
With me,
Nirmal
sir,
sir, hurry
there is a connect with everyone in the talk show here. I
Nirmal sir.
पिथौरागढ़ में पली बड़ी हूँ त्रिलोकसर में.
Oh,
But I
wow,
tell
I'm
you
so
one
glad
thing,
that-
on a serious note, I tell you one thing. I have been in UP for 24 years, then 23 years in Rajasthan, then for the past, I'll not tell how many years in Bangalore. You will start counting my age. I will not do that. But then few years in Bangalore. But I could, and Madhya Pradesh, I have a close connect because my mother belongs to Madhya Pradesh. I could say that when we talk about the diversity of India, na, it is there. Every state has got its own. हिंदी में हम एक वर्ड बोलते हैं कलेवर. एक अपना ही टेक्सचर है हर स्टेट का जो बहुत
गाना सुन लो ना, खाना बनाना है, the cook is on leave.
मैम व्हाट्स सेशन
हम लोगों को भी बनाना है मैम, जल्दी करिए.
मैंने तो गा लिया मैम के साथ.
सर आपका
ठीक है
बन चुका
आपने.
होगा.
Nirmal,
Got
can
it,
you
sir,
play a
Nirmal
little
sir.
clip now?
Okay, I'll sing just 2-3 lines of a song called Times They Are a Changing. It's very appropriate for all of us here. So here it goes. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a changing. That's all.
An online exam with the Google Baba.
Yes.
No,
No, this is
first
a-
till you will get the marks and the result.
This is a song by Bob Dylan. He's a cult singer. There are, all his lyrics are very, very amazing. And I love him. So this is one of the songs which I keep listening
Ma'am, I love your dog.
He is actually
Right,
my continuous partner of all
Thank you so much,
online.
Nirmal sir. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Nirmal sir.
thank you.
And it's very good app you have created, and that too, that is free of cost for the students of 6th, 7th, 8th. I hope you have created till now.
7, 8, and 9.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9th you are working on. Thank you so much, sir, Nirmal sir. Thank you, Bhavna ma'am, Trilok sir, Pratima ma'am, and Deepti ma'am, sparing your valuable time coming running from the school as we all did today again, and joining the show. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again in another episode with the same zeal and enthusiasm. Pratima ma'am, you want to say anything?
Nothing, sir. Thank you so much. The pleasure is
Thank
entirely ours.
खाना बनाना है, खाना बनाना है.
It's been such a
हम
long
लोग को भी बनाना है
We
मैम.
can wish each one like this. नई साल नई आशाएं, आप अपने बच्चों को सक्षम साक्षर बनाएं. इस नव उत्साह के संग आप सब अपने नव सत्र को चलाएं. शुभकामनाएं.
मैम एक
Thank
एंडिंग
you,
मैं भी
thank
अब
you.
करूंगा. हालांकि आप लोगों ने मुझे गाने के लिए नहीं कहा, लेकिन आप लोग प्लीज बुरा मत मानिएगा, मैं गा देता हूँ. बड़े दिन से गाना सोचा हुआ था कि शायद गा लें.
Please,
क्या
guys.
तू बोले?
नाम गुम जाएगा, चेहरा ये बदल जाएगा, मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है, घर याद रहे ओ नाम गुम जाएगा, चेहरा ये बदल जाएगा, मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है।
सर आपने जो
अरे
लिखा था
यार।
त्रिलोक सर, मेरी
Thank you.
आवाज ही से बस एक बार ले दो।
क्या मैम?
आपने
Thank
जो
you so
हाथ
much.
से पकड़ा था ना, मेरी आवाज ही, सर एक बार।
ठीक है। नाम गुम जाएगा, चेहरा ये बदल जाएगा, मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है, कर याद रहे, नाम गुम जाएगा। Thank you.
All
Thank
of
you,
us
ma'am.
get the ticket to finale for the Indian Idol, whatever 15 or 20 episode it will be. Of course, we are all rounders. We can do anything if we are genies. Thank you
I
so
can
much.
always find faults in someone singing, but can never sing.
Right,
The
right.
beauty of being a teacher.
You are a
True teacher. True
Good
teacher.
teacher.
Teacher. Deepti ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you so
And
much,
Thank you.
Trilok
Deepti
God
ma'am
ma'am,
is
bless
Rana
you.
ma'am,
So
Nima
much,
ma'am, Nirmal
everyone.
sir,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Rana.
Thank you so
Wonderful meeting you
Thank
all.
you, sir. And you are a true leader.
Wonderful knowing each one of you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Do
Have a
come
great
over to
weekend.
Jaipur, each one of you.
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Yeah, you
मैम
too. Please
आप
come
अभी
to
खाना बना रहे हैं
Gurgaon.
तो हम आएंगे।
हाँ हम बना रहे हैं जी, आप आइए.
नहीं,
और मैम अगली बारी शो में सर होने चाहिए साथ में, उन्होंने पिछली बारी साथ में गाया था आपके।
He got to know that I would be in the short show today in the evening. I think he's taken an extra, hour at work.
Right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am. Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Namaskar,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Good
Bye
evening.
bye.
Good evening.